Oh hey, today we're going to turn this into a fire pit. So let's get started. Okay, so I've wanted to do this for quite some time, is build a fire pit. The ones that you can buy at the store, I mean, they're okay, but they are quite expensive if anybody has tried to, and maybe that's why you're watching this video, because you thought, these are expensive, let's make our own. So I went to my local, actually scrap metal. They sell steel, offcuts and whatnot of the scrap steel. And this just happened to be sitting there. I was picking up some stuff for another project, and this piece happened to be sitting there, and I thought, man, this is perfect for a fire pit. 1/8 plate or sheet, and it's 16 inches by 96 inches. Picked it up relatively cheap, a fraction of the cost of what it would be. I don't remember how much this piece was. It was under $100, and I think well under $100. Is way cheaper, and I thought, okay, so now the only trick is going to be is how do I bend this to get it into my circle. I may need to get the torches and heat this up with the torch to bend it around, and then I'll just weld it on the one end. We're going to try and attempt to bend this, so let's just see what happens when I bend it by hand now. Oh yeah, it's fairly easy. Okay, we're getting some shape in it. It's actually going not bad. So we're almost there. And this last section is, I knew this was going to be difficult. And I could heat it up with a torch, but then it's going to be hard to hold on to and manipulate, but we may have to do it. I'm going to try forcing it with my foot a little bit more to see if I can get this part to bend, because the rest of it is bent fairly nicely. So I think I'm going to get the torch out. So let's get the torch. Okay, so you can see just by manipulating with my hand, I've got it into sort of round. So now I think I may need to use the torch and get the last bits around. I see I've got a bit of a flat spot here and here. This side is curved quite nicely, but this side I got a bit of a flat spot. So I'm going to see if I can bend this a little bit more round, give it a bit more curve just by hand. And then the ends, I think I'm going to heat those up a bit just to bend them around. Okay, so I mean, if you didn't have a torch, you could definitely, I'm going to assume if you're going to try and tackle this yourself, that you have a welder. So you can definitely bend this around. I could figure out a way to clamp it and then tack the two together and try to force it around by hand, or even just leave the flat spots. But having a welder is just going to help us with this part staying flat, right? So the welder, the torch is just going to help us. All the edges. Yeah, I mean, that's working a bit. So if you didn't have a torch, I mean, you could use that to try and round the rest of that out. Just get a pliers on there. Anyways, we're gonna try with the torch. Now this isn't the exact proper tip to be doing this with. This is a cutting tip. You'd want to use a big rosebud tip, but this is what I got, so this is what I'm using. And just, you know, a word of caution too, this is getting really hot already, but it's definitely going to get very hot. So I'm just trying to start this edge rolling over. It definitely didn't turn out as round as I thought it would be, or as big as I thought it would be. But take out some of that tension on the back. Okay. So I think it's time to weld this up now. Yeah, away we go. Okay, so to tack this up, I'm going to use my MIG welder, but then to finish welding, I'm going to use the TIG welder. Now, you can use whatever welder you have, MIG welder, TIG welder, arc, stick welder. Heck, you could probably braze this together. The only problem with brazing is it may melt when you get the fire real hot. And that would be unfortunate. I'm just going to use the TIG welder to tack it, and that's because I have it set up right now to do sheet metal stuff, so it's very thin wire, 023 wire, and this should have thicker wire. So in my TIG welder, I can just choose the size of wire with the rod, so Anyways, and plus I like the practice on my TIG because I'm not that great. So, I'm gonna get the MIG welder fired up here. So I'm hoping I can push down on this and bring it together and fire my arc. So now I'll be able to finish this up with the TIG welder. Gas was not. So now that I'm standing up, I'm going to try doing it with the pedal, the way that I usually do it. And this should be a little bit easier for me. Actually try using my MIG welder for part of this and see how that goes. It's going alright with the TIG, but standing upside down like that is hurting my back, so let's see if we can blast through it on the MIG welder. So I've got my MIG wire here though is set up for small wire for doing body work, so hopefully this will work out alright. Alright, so you see that was much faster with the MIG. Again, not exactly the right wire on it, but let me show you guys how it turned out. Okay, so there's the top part with the TIG, which was going all right. It was a pretty big gap to try and fill in there. And there's with the MIG, and I am no expert welder, to be honest. And, you know, you can see I was going pretty quick there, but anyways, that'll definitely hold her together. And there's our fire pit ring. All right, so there you go. This part is not as rounded as I hoped it could be. I mean, I could work a little bit more at bending that part out, but I'm still overall, I've been pretty happy with how that turned out. It wasn't too difficult to do by myself, right? That's the other thing, all by myself here. But there it is. There's your fire ring. Bent it all the way around, welded on both sides, and this should last for quite a few years. Now, obviously, I'm not going to bother painting it because all that paint will just get burnt off when we're burning stuff in here. So I think it'll work just nicely and be nice and, it's relatively high, so it'll be nice and safe. And yeah, I'm happy with that. So now what you'd want to do outside is I'll just find a spot in the grass. Basically, I'm just going to do it on the grass. I'll put a little bit of gravel around the outside just to fill in the bottom a little bit, and that'll be it. So thanks for tagging along on this quick little video here of doing the fire pit. Please subscribe to my channel and see other stuff. I do stuff like this, work on my Mercury, tractors, all kinds of stuff around the house. So just tag along, and anything mechanical and welding that you like, I probably will have it here on the channel. So please subscribe, like, share, and follow. Thanks very much.